still be calm, cool, and collected, and just let things play out. In this meantime, the reason why you don't want to force that relationship, still working on you. You just overcame being shy. Welcome back to the channel. It's that guy, so fly, Energy Eli. Please do make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe. So today, fellas, I am going to give you 6 tips on how to stop being shy in front of women. Now listen, you might have been that quirky guy in high school. You might have been that, that guy who just did not have self-esteem when it came to approaching females. But listen, guys, I'm going to give you 6 tips that will help you, build more confidence, feel more confident, when you're approaching a woman. Listen, we're in the age now where guys, they probably don't even remember the last time they actually physically approached a woman in person before actually going on social media. Now listen, I'm not disregarding social media, because social media has been very beneficial to meeting women and approaching women. You still have to put that initial work in after. It's just the first initial, starting point of where, you have to, begin. It's just in real life rather than online. So listen, guys, without further ado, I'm going to give you 6 tips. Let's get right into it. Tip number 1, build up your self-esteem. Now, the many ways that you can build up your self-esteem is through the gym, is through, talking to yourself, doing your affirmations, but just speaking life into yourself. That's one of the few only ways you're going to be able to build your confidence. You're going to be able to build up your esteem about yourself so you can feel more confident when approaching a woman. If you don't feel that your self-esteem is there, you're not going to feel, confident in front of that woman. She's going to recognize that you are shy, that you are a bit like, oh, I don't feel my best, or I don't feel like I'm in the, bracket to be able to even approach you and speak to you, let alone even probably, start up a whole conversation and get your number and go from there. So fellas, you want to build up your self-esteem. I can't stress it enough. That's why this is tip number 1. Your self-esteem needs to be built, has to be built. I'll give you an example for myself. Like, whenever I'm about to approach a woman, we all do it. It's like a level, it's like a tier. It's just like, okay, cool. I think about myself, and I say, okay, cool. What qualities do I have? Things that stand out about me, things that I know are going to get recognized. And I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, I can speak to this woman, because she obviously may have her own thing as well, where she feels like, okay, a certain caliber of man has to approach her. But fellas, if your esteem is high, regardless if they say yes or no, you're going to still be feeling, confident. You're going to still be feeling, at those higher levels, whereas if you didn't, have high self-esteem, what you're going to go after is going to show that you don't have high self-esteem. So fellas, listen, build that self-esteem, man. Build that self-esteem, because that's what's going to get you where you want to go. And then you can approach the type of women that you truly want and truly are attracted to. Now let's get into step number 2. Tip number 2, practice talking to new people. So if you are very shy, work on your communication skills. You got to get in front of different people. I mean, you could even be, out at the mall, the grocery store, the gym, wherever. Listen, spark up conversations. Hey, how's the weather? You might see someone with a sports cap on. Hey, you're a supporter of them? Oh, okay, cool. Start running down things about sports and build that repertoire. Build your, just get confident with being able to speak to people. Conversations can be built in the most just random places for the most part. Like I said, the post office, you could be just going to grab a bite to eat inside the store. You start speaking to one of the employees. Like, work on your communication skills. This is going to give you the confidence, and back to tip number 1, the self-esteem boost to be able to really approach any woman that you want to approach, fellas. So work on those skills, work on your communication skills, and just continue to just get better at that with the dialogue. And I guarantee you, over time, you'll see a difference. Now let's get into tip number 3. Tip number 3, put yourself out there. Now, kind of going back to tip number 2, working on communication skills and, kind of starting communication skills or communication conversations with random people. Listen, you got to put yourself out there. It's almost like marketing, fellas, especially in this day and age. The level of competition when it comes to dating, fellas, is very steep, so you want to put yourself out there. But when I say put yourself out there, I'm thinking of it from a marketing, advertising, background, especially someone that's a business owner. It's hard to turn it on, turn it off. So I'm always thinking of marketing wise ways of how you can put yourself out there, so when it comes to putting yourself out there. So you can put yourself out there, in an advertisement way, saying, like I said, dating sites or, from your social medias. Just always make sure that you are putting yourself out there. Maybe you're going to speed dating events. Maybe you're going to these type of events. Listen, put your best foot forward and put the best version of you out there. And don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Listen, at the end of the day, what can happen, but it's not the worst that can happen. That's the beautiful part about it. So just put yourself out there, be friendly, be gullible, to the extent of, just accepting things of how they are, and be open-minded and be positive, so continue to put yourself out there, fellas, and I guarantee you will see results. Now let's get into tip number 4. Tip number 4. So, you just met this lady, you feeling her, you really want her to be your girlfriend, but fellas, I would say hold off. Don't rush it. If she's not wanting to go to that next level with you, don't put pressure on her, fellas, because that can show a lot of anxiousness and push her away. And it will kind of show that, you aren't really, how can I say, you haven't been in this situation too many times. So if you're really pressuring a relationship, and you are still in that process of, or she's still in that process of really getting to know each other, don't force the issue, fellas. It will show that you aren't really used to being around females or being with a female to a degree. So you want to still be calm, cool, and collected, and just let things play out. In this meantime, the reason why you don't want to force the relationship, still working on you. You just overcame being shy. So now don't be over pushy. Like, still take your time, still be calm, cool, and collected, and be genuinely you, be genuinely you, and as time goes on, because you want her to fall deeply in love anyway, then that's when you can slide in and say, okay, cool, now we're ready to become a couple, and you gained, your self-esteem is here, your confidence is here, and things are all meshing and coming together at the right time. All right, so now let's get into tip number 5. Tip number 5, learn to really listen. Now, listen, at this stage now, with this tip number 5, you've overcome to a degree your shyness, you've overcome, being, just kind of, off to your, the corner. And now you're out here, you're bubbly, you're realizing, okay, cool, I've understood my potential, I've raised the level, now I'm ready to explore, now I'm ready to, mingle real. But as you're at this mingling point, if you do find that one, you got to still learn to listen, because like I said, you've just graduated from a level where you were pretty much mute. Now you need to learn to listen. See, that's where the balance is going to come in, because now you're ready to, okay, now you found her, now you need to, okay, cool, let me listen to see what she said. I haven't been in this position before. This may be my first girlfriend. This may be my first relationship. So, or maybe my first adult relationship. So you want to make sure that you're always listening to what she has to say and giving her time to speak as well. So when it's your turn to speak, she'll stop, be quiet, and listen. All right. So now let's get into the final and 6th tip. All right. So our final and 6th tip is be aware of when you speak too much. Now, we've graduated from tip 1 through 5, and now you are very vocal. Now you are very talkative, but now also realize when you're over talking, you come from a shy guy, but now you're over talking. Make sure you don't overly talk, because that can put a woman off. That can show her, okay, he doesn't have the personal skills, the communication skills to adeptly speak to me the way I need to be spoken to. We can't have an effective communication because he's over talking me, and I never get to get my point across. Fellas, you want to make sure that you are not over talking. If she has something to say, as soon as she's talking, don't try to speak right over her. That is a no-no. That is a big no-no. So, make sure you still continue to work on those skills, those communication skills, and do not over talk her. Give her the floor to speak, like I said in tip number 5, and then you can speak. When she's quiet, then you can speak. When you're quiet, then she can speak. All right. So continue to keep working on that communication. Once again, my name is TheEnergyEli. Please do make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I'm out. Believe.